Welcome to the Wellness That Fits podcast, where we help busy moms eat well, restore energy, and clear brain fog without sacrificing family time or your sanity. I'm Cassie Groeschl, registered dietitian and mom of three. I believe wellness should fit your real life, not the other way around. If you're tired of complicated wellness trends and want simple, sustainable strategies for meal prep, holistic nutrition, and time-saving routines, you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Welcome back to the Wellness That Fits podcast. I'm your host, Cassie, and today we're talking about something very practical that can make a huge difference in how you actually feel on vacation, and that is road trip snacks. Now, we recently planned a family trip to Yellowstone, and actually at the time of this recording, we'll probably be back already. But as I was packing and meal planning, I found myself thinking about the balance that so many of us are trying to find. I don't want vacation to feel restrictive at all. I want my kids to have treats. I want to go out to eat. I want to enjoy ice cream if that's part of the experience. But I also know that when our family spends days eating mostly chips, candy, juice, convenience foods, junk foods, nobody feels their best. And it shows. Energy crashes happen, moods get a little more dramatic, digestion gets off track, and suddenly this amazing trip, vacation that we've been looking forward to feels harder than it should. So my goal in this isn't perfection. It never is. There's always balance. My goal was to pack some fiber and protein and nutrient dense foods that we could actually, so that we could actually enjoy the vacation. So I wanted, energy for hiking and sightseeing and playing with cousins and making memories and not just recovering from sugar crashes every single afternoon. Like I wanted to bring foods that are kind of a treat to them because it only happens every so often. But at the same time, I know how they get, like I said, with the energy crashes, and their immune systems get completely off when their sleep schedules are off, when they don't have enough fiber and protein. And so I was just trying to find a balance here, energy for all the things. And so today I'm going to share exactly what we packed, what I looked for, and some additional ideas if you're planning your own summer road trip. Okay, so the three things I look for when I'm choosing road trip snacks, and honestly, just like snacks that we can have when we're on the road going to swim lessons and sports and all that kind of stuff, I generally look for three things. Number one, some protein. Number two, some fiber. Number three, shelf stability, because we're going to be in the car. And so that's not always the case because you do have a cooler. But for me, that was just something that I wanted to make sure that we had. So with protein helps keep everyone fuller for longer, and it can help stabilize energy levels, reduce those sugar crashes because protein helps stabilize blood sugar. Number two, with the fiber sources support gut health. They help us satiety, that feeling of being full. And honestly, when you're traveling and out of your normal routine, your digestive system appreciates a little bit of support. I mean, when your body is maybe doing something else and go, 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 and maybe there's a little bit more stress, like that's already going to impact your digestion. Even if you were eating the exact same, like let's say high fiber rich, really super healthy foods, like it's still going to impact it. And so if you take away like more fiber and you add more stress, we're really going to wreak havoc here on the digestive system. And so I wanted to at least do some support. So really looking for some sources that have some fiber, it doesn't necessarily need to be super high fiber, but just keeping that in mind. And then number three, with that shelf stability. Because let's be honest, if it melts into a puddle after 30 minutes in the car, it's probably not going to make the cut. And we are traveling through the Badlands and then to Yellowstone. And so the Badlands are warm at this time of the year in the summer. And so I wanted something that wasn't just going to be a chocolatey, melted mess in the car. So I'm looking for foods that can survive being tossed in a backpack, sitting in the car, or coming along on a hike. And it's not perfect, of course. If you have a little melty chocolate, that's okay. But that's just kind of the items I was looking for. Some protein, fiber, shelf stability. Now, I also just always generally, this wasn't really like the top, but it's always in the back of my mind. to reduce added sugar. So that's almost like a given for me. But for somebody who might be looking for some healthy snacks, just so you know, like I'm always looking for snacks. I'm always comparing labels and picking out which snacks have a lower amount of added sugar in them because it's not impossible, but it's nearly impossible to find kid snacks that don't have some added sugar. And so that's always in the back of my head. I didn't list it really here as like the top three things, but it is in the back of my head. Okay, so what we bought at Costco, I'm going to start with Costco, the Kirkland Chewy granola bars. Now, these granola bars do have a little bit more added sugars than what I usually buy, like with the Kind bars and with the Aldi bars, but they're really good. The kids love them. And so I was willing to give up like a few extra grams of added sugar so that we have happy kids. I don't hate the nutrition label. Most varieties contain about 7 grams of added sugar per bar, which is lower than many traditional granola bars marketed towards kids. So just keep that in mind. It's definitely not a low sugar food by any means, but it's a convenient shelf stable option that the kids will actually eat. So I thought this was a reasonable choice. And that's a theme you'll hear throughout this episode. Not perfect, but practical. And it does have a few grams of fiber and a few grams of protein in it as well. So just trying to keep things a little balanced. I also bought Nature's Bakery fig bars. I really like these. These are a family favorite. And anything that you buy, multiple months in a row, the kids get sick of. So I actually haven't bought these in a while. And I asked them, do you want these? And they're like, oh, yes, we buy the raspberry and the blueberry kind. Costco actually has the combination pack of the raspberry and blueberry. And so one package provides about 200 calories, 3 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber, which is nice. And it does have 14 grams of added sugars, which is pretty on the high side. But again, like I said, this is vacation and I'm really just trying to be practical, more so focusing on some fiber and some protein and not just looking at the added sugars. So, of course, they could be lower in added sugar, of course, but balance. So I also appreciate that they contain whole grains and, like I said, a few grams of fiber. One thing I do keep in mind is pair them with a protein source, especially if they're lower in protein. This one isn't too bad. It's 3 grams. So for a snack to have the protein and the fiber very similar, like 3-4 grams, is pretty good. And so again, these are more so snacks. During mealtime, we do a lot of like picnic lunches, and then supper is kind of random if we grab something to go or we're able to stop at a grocery store for a lot of our trip. And so we are able to make some pretty balanced meals. But I would say the lunches and the suppers, we really focus on protein, fiber, healthy fats, and then some whole grain items just to balance out our day. So the snacks are kind of like um, as balanced as we can get them. So instead of just like giving a fig bar by itself, like if you wanted to make it part of a lunch, you could pair it with some milk, cheese, or maybe another protein rich snack. That combination tends to be much more satisfying and helps avoid that quick sugar energy spike and crash that can happen with carbohydrate only snacks. So this isn't necessarily right. It has some protein in it, but just to kind of keep in mind that if your kids do love a like high carbohydrate rich snack, just to try to pair it with some protein, cheese stick, some dairy products are great, like yogurt drink or something like that. So another thing we bought is Z bars. The kids love Z bars. They're easy, they're portable, and a little more substantial than some snack options. It's not a protein bar, it's not a health food, but at least it's not candy, right? They're kind of a middle ground vacation food that helps keep everyone happy. Again, wish the added sugars were a little bit lower on the Z bars, but it is what it is. And we look for a couple grams of protein and a couple grams of fiber. And then I bought some shelf stable organic milk just to have a pack of it in the car so that when we do picnic lunches, they're getting an additional 8 grams of protein with their meal. So often on road trips, kids that end up getting like juice boxes or sports drinks, sweetened beverages all day. And so having some milk available meant we could quickly add some protein, some calcium, and some vitamin D. And it paired really well with some of the high carbohydrate snacks that we packed, like higher than normal snacks that we packed. Sometimes nutrition isn't just about finding the perfect snack. It's really just about creating a better combination. Okay, a couple other things. This isn't really a snack, but Poppy, the drink Poppy. There's also Olipop, but we opted for Poppy. It's kind of a fun option. If you're not familiar, it's a prebiotic soda. My kids rarely get soda. If we go to like a party or something, graduation party or birthday party, I'll let them have like a or a cup of soda, but they rarely get this. So that to them, this feels like a huge treat. They're not, like I said, so since they're not used to drinking a lot of soda, they have a hard time, like, comparing, like, Pepsi or Mountain Dew or something like that, or Sprite to what a prebiotic soda tastes like. So, for many of you who maybe, like, clearly are familiar with what soda tastes like, um, you know, there's some people that are like, "Oh, I can't do the prebiotic soda. It tastes so off." Well, right. It's not supposed to taste like soda. It's kind of something different. And so with my kids not really having a lot of that knowledge of what like soda tastes like because it's not ingrained in their brain, the Poppy really works great. And they have some great flavors. They love the Shirley Temple. They love the orange creamsicle or dreamsicle. To them, again, this felt like a huge treat. And honestly, that's part of vacation too. You want it to be fun, something different, something where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that we get this. And so sometimes the excitement isn't about the nutrition facts, right? It's just like about making the experience feel special. Okay, another thing we got yogis. Yogis are another fun item we packed. Again, not perfect by any means. They definitely fall more into the treat category than the protein category. There's like almost no protein in it, but they were easy to pack and something the kids really look forward to. So, really, again, looking here at balance. Not every snack needs to be optimized. We also, kind of along the lines of yogi, also brought pure fruit leather. So the pure brand fruit leather. I love hearing I love having fruit leather on hand. It's portable. It doesn't really melt. It might get a little bit like soft, but it's easy to throw in a backpack. And for kids who are craving something sweet or maybe see their cousins or other kids having like candy and stuff, this is just like a nice alternative to candy. Okay, so a couple other things. Venison jerky. We are hunters in my family. We get our meat processed every year into venison jerky, hot sticks, barbecue sticks, of course, ground venison, steaks, and sausages. And we always bring the venison summer sausage, venison jerky, and some hot sticks or barbecue sticks. It's not shelf stable, but we do have a cooler that we can pull from. And so this is just a great protein to satiate us if maybe, there isn't like a hotel breakfast or something, or you just feel like feeling a little hangry, some venison jerky is a great option to have. Another thing is trail mix. I make my own. It's so easy. I just dump in a bag of raw almonds, unsalted. You can get salted if you wanted and roasted. I just do the raw organic almonds. I do pepitas. I do dark chocolate chips and also craisins. So it's a really good satiating snack. It has fiber, healthy fats, protein in it, and then that little bit of dark chocolate with magnesium and zinc and some other micronutrients. And then also just for the flavor, since my family loves chocolate. So it's perfect for hiking or car snack. One thing to keep in mind is obviously the chocolate chips, when they're not like together in a granola bar with other foods, it is going to melt. And so I am planning to bring some of these and just keep them in the cooler or somewhere somewhat cool so that we can have a few of these options that aren't going to completely melt in the car. And then guess what? I bought a box of Gushers. Yes, we pack Gushers. I'm telling you that on purpose because I think sometimes people just assume nutrition professionals only pack perfectly curated snack boxes full of organic kale chips. And so we pack Gushers because they're a fun vacation treat that my kids don't get very often. And because food should also be enjoyable and fun. I know we all have some memories from growing up where it was definitely a treat, something you didn't get very often, and it's just kind of fun. So does it have dyes in it? Yes. Do we for the most part avoid food dyes and added sugars and just junk? Of course. This is just a fun little food that we're having on vacation. So when treats are part of the plan, also they feel less chaotic maybe than when we're trying to avoid them completely. Like, so we're not completely restricting. We have like one fun thing that we're bringing, and gosh, they're going to get ice cream and snacks, and there's desserts planned for every day. So they're going to have plenty of other things. So I wanted to make sure our personal snack list had some fiber, protein, and satiating ingredients in them so that they weren't having those sugar crashes. Okay, so Costco list is done. I also went to Aldi. I got turtle crackers. These are just like fun, something we don't get very frequently just because it's I don't want to say it's like an empty nutritional value snack, but it has a couple grams of protein and, some carbs, but it's not really like a whole grain item. They're like the Aldi version of goldfish, if you're not familiar. They're not a protein powerhouse, like I said, but they typically provide a couple grams of protein per serving, minimal sugar, and they're incredibly kid friendly. The kids think they're getting a total treat when they get the Aldi turtles, and I personally think that they taste better than the goldfish. So sometimes the best road trip snack is simply the snack that your child will actually eat when they're hungry, you know? And so we're just trying to, again, balance all of the kids' needs, wants, parents' wants, and needs. Okay, so let's really quick talk about adult snacks. If you know my husband, he I asked, "What snacks do you want for this trip?" And he just gave me this list of Cheez-Its, Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, all these things. And he loves he loves treats and car snacks. And so what I tried to do is find some treat items, but also that just are like a slightly healthier version. Are we saying this is super healthy? Of course not. It's just a little bit healthier of a version. So we got the from Costco skinny dipped dark chocolate coconut almonds. I usually get the skinny dipped peanut butter chocolate ones, but they didn't have them available or I didn't see it. But so we got this new coconut almond kind. So it's basically like an almond joy, but a little bit healthier with dark chocolate and less additives. And this snack really is going to hit that sweet and salty craving. And I love that they're portion controlled and provide some healthy fats from nuts while still feeling like a treat. It's a total treat. Um, and guess what? We did get Cheez-Its. Yes, Cheez-Its made the list because my husband loves them. It's a fun food. Kids have gushers. He gets to have Cheez-Its. And like I said, he requested them. So it's a fun thing to have in the car. And to be honest, like when growing up, I always loved to have combos. It's terrible for you. But, every once in a while, if you're having combos twice a year, absolutely enjoy. Another thing that I wanted to mention is roasted edamame. So Costco has the Vienna brand, and I just have a bag of this roasted edamame that just sits in my car because I travel frequently. And so it's nice to have something on hand that's a little satiating in case I didn't pack as much of a lunch or I'm just like hungry and I want something to snack on. It's crunchy, it's shelf stable and packed with plant protein and fiber. So to be honest, I like a good handful of them or a couple handfuls, but after that, I kind of get sick of the flavor. So it's not something that I absolutely love, if I'm being completely honest, because I know you guys are like, oh, Cassie just loves kale chips and roasted edamame. And yes, like I do like a little bit of that kind of stuff. But for me, like it's good, it's crunchy, it's salty. And then all of a sudden it gets like this kind of like off flavor that I just, it's like, okay, I'm satiated. I had some protein and fiber. I'm ready to move on to the next thing, right? So I just love the fact that I'm getting protein and fiber through the roasted edamame, but you don't need to eat a whole bunch of it, right? And so if you've never tried roasted edamame, think of it more as like a nutritious alternative to chips. I mean, like I said, I buy the Vienna brand from Costco. So it's just like nice to have on hand for a little extra protein and fiber. Okay, so a couple other great road trip snack ideas just to have on hand for when you're traveling in the car. Roasted chickpeas, pistachios, mixed nuts, any kind of nuts if you like walnuts or almonds, beef sticks, turkey sticks. Like I said, we are bringing venison sticks, but not everybody has access to venison sticks. Apples, clementines. We actually did pack a lot of just shelf stable fruit that we're going to bring along. Freeze dried fruit, another great option. Popcorn. I wanted to pack popcorn, just didn't get around to like making my own because I don't buy the microwavable bags. I just didn't get around to it, but that's a great option. Whole grain, lots of fiber. And then string cheese. String cheese, I mentioned that before, or any sort of single serving yogurt, cups, or chobani, protein drinks. Those are really nice to have on hand. Pretzels paired with nuts, just making your own trail mix, but adding a couple other fun things in it. Peanut butter packets, those are great. Justin's makes those almond packets. There's some other companies that make the little packets that are shelf stable, super easy, especially if you're doing picnic lunches. Again, the goal isn't just to pack only healthy foods. The goal is to create enough balance that everyone feels good. And so the bigger picture, as I was packing for Yellowstone, I kept coming back to one question. What will help us get the most out of this trip? Because the purpose of nutrition isn't to create perfect food rules. The purpose of nutrition is to support the life you want to live. And so for us, that meant enough energy to hike, to sightsee, to explore, like enough fuel that we can explore and the kids aren't crashing all the time, enough balanced snacks that nobody was melting down halfway through the day. I mean, let's be honest, it's going to happen frequently. But if we can reduce the number of meltdowns, man, I am in for that. And then enough treats that vacation still feels like vacation. So, if you're planning a summer road trip, I'd encourage you to think less about good foods and bad foods and more about creating a snack lineup that includes some protein, some fiber, plenty of convenience, and a few fun treats mixed throughout. Because when your body feels good, you have more energy for the things that matter most, the memories, the adventures, and the people that you're sharing them with. So, thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. If you found this helpful, please share it with a friend who's maybe planning a road trip and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And then also tell me, what do you plan? You can DM me. I'm at Wellness That Fits. What do you love to have in the car for whether you're going on a road trip or you're just bebopping around town from sporting event to sporting event? Let me know. What is your favorite snack that you like to have? I always like to learn new ideas. And gosh, I learn things every day from busy moms who are living the same life. We're just trying to get by. We're trying to do more than survive. We're trying to thrive. And we're trying to help our kids have enough energy and fiber and support and protein to get through their days. And so I'm always interested to hear from you. So until next time, remember that wellness should fit your life, not the other way around. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Wellness That Fits podcast. I hope you walk away with simple, doable steps you can put into practice right away. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world if you subscribed, left a review, or shared it with another busy mom who could use some encouragement. Until next time, friends, keep creating wellness that fits your life.